Good morning. My name is Sue Fulton, Chief Administrator of the New Jersey Motor Vehicle Commission. I'd like to welcome you all here to Bergen County Special Services in the city of Paramus for a stop on my annual school bus inspection tour, where we invite the media to join us for an up-close look at a very crucial Motor Vehicle Commission operation. This exercise isn't just for show. It's a year-round daily routine that our Inspection Services Unit devotes nearly 100 employees to. Hardworking, knowledgeable professionals like you see here with me today. Every one of New Jersey's 24,000 school buses is inspected twice a year, and we do another 100 unannounced inspections just to keep operators on their toes. The inspections checklist includes more than 180 safety components, including things like brakes, steering, tires, lighting, emergency exits, seat belts, even window glazing. Just as importantly, we inspect the driver records to ensure that their credentials are current and their medical certification is current. But there's always more that we can do. After the tragic bus crash in Mount Olive, in which we lost 10-year-old Miranda Vargas and Paramus teacher Jennifer Williamson, the governor and the legislature signed 8 bills into law the past year designed to make our school buses and drivers even safer, including requiring 3-point belts on all new buses, additional medical exams for older drivers, and more safety education. Our District 38 legislators, including Senator Joseph Lagana, and here today, Assemblywoman Lisa Swain, Assemblyman Chris Tully, were some of the key movers behind this legislation. You've given the students of New Jersey their best chance at walking safely away from an accident. The 3-point belts are a crucial addition to other safety features already in place here in New Jersey, like requiring every bus to have a crossing arm that swings out to prevent kids from passing directly in front of the bus, or the front and back sensors that let a driver know that there's a kid in the way when they're out of view. Because New Jersey is recognized as one of the leading states now in taking strong measures to keep our kids safe, I was the only state representative among a panel of national organizations asked to testify at the school bus safety hearings in August before the Transportation and Infrastructure Committee of the House of Representatives. So I'm proud that we continue to set the standard, because I know we all agree there's nothing we wouldn't do to protect the lives of our children. But all New Jerseyans can help in this effort. I'm here today to call everyone's attention to the fact that class is back in session. You've got to be extra cautious. Be mindful of school buses stopping in front of you. Too many kids in this country have been injured or died because an impatient driver illegally passed a school bus. Be mindful of kids walking, waiting, boarding, or getting off school buses. No meeting, no event, no appointment. Nothing you need to get to is as important as a child's life. With that, I hope everyone has a safe and productive school year, and I'd like to invite Assemblywoman Swain to say a few words.
I'm not quite as tall as you. Thank you, Chief Fulton, for organizing this event today. Today marks the second week for most kids in school in this area, and what could be more fitting than to review some of the safety measures that you already heard about. Everything that we can do to make our kids safe is our priority. And as you just heard, a number of things have been in action, and I thank you for all the work that you're doing, for the team that we have behind us who are doing everything every day. But there are some things that Assemblyman Tully and I have been doing since the unfortunate and horrific tragedy last year, and that is requiring education training twice a year for school bus drivers and school bus aides, requiring school bus operators in the state to comply with certain federal regulations, requiring school bus drivers to submit medical certificates to their employers, because not every school bus operation is owned by the school, many are independent, and we want to prove that they are physically fit and submit to a medical examination and screenings. In addition, we have a bill that requires the Board of Ed or school bus contractor within 1 business day of notification that a school bus driver's license has been suspended or revoked to verify to the Department of Education that the driver is no longer operating that school bus. And I just want to thank our team in District 38, which is not just us, but our county officials, our municipal officials, state, federal. We are all working together to make New Jersey safe for everyone, especially our children. And I want to thank you again for hosting this important conference. And Assemblyman Tully has a few words as well.
I'll be very brief. Chief Fulton, thank you and your team for being here this morning. As Assemblywoman Swain, this is a solemn location as we're here in Paramus, the site of a great tragedy that took place in May of 2018. And Assemblywoman Swain and I were sworn into the Assembly 1 week after that tragedy, and we got right to work, and it's to credit to leadership, to our governor, Senator Joe Lagana, and as Lisa said, the county and local elected officials for the legislation that we really got accomplished very quickly here in the state. As you know, legislation doesn't happen very quickly, but this was extremely important because it is our solemn duty as legislators to make sure that our children are safe. So whether it's doing everything we can to curb gun violence, to improve school safety, or no parent should ever be fearful of sending their kid on a school trip or wondering if their child is going to return home just for going to a day of school. So I really wanted to thank so many individuals that made today possible, that made this legislation possible, and thank you very much for being here today. Really appreciate it. Thank you, Chief. Appreciate it.
So much. Thank you. And I can now take questions if there's any from the media. None that I'm aware of. We had 8 bills, so we've been working hard on that in the past. I'm not aware of any additional legislation. And I want to reiterate, New Jersey is has some of the toughest rules for school buses and school bus drivers in the country, and that was really brought home when I heard in D.C. What's going on in some of the other states, and they wanted to know how to do what we've done here. Yeah, that's a great point from the Assemblywoman. We require 3-point belts in all of our buses. There are only 7 states that require even 2-point belts in all their school buses. So that's unusual. There's not an automatic signal. It's the school bus driver's responsibility not to drive until the kids buckle up. Obviously, that's a constant concern that drivers have to attend to. But you'd be surprised. I mean, kids, as their parents enforce them to wear seatbelts in the car, that's something that kids get accustomed to. Certainly, there's going to be exceptions, but the driver is responsible for enforcing. Well, it's not the driver that notifies. The Motor Vehicle Commission has all of those records. So if a suspension comes in on a commercial driver license for a school bus driver, within 1 business day, we actually generate a report every single work night, and we work on Saturdays. So that's 6 days a week. Every single work night, we generate a report of any school bus driver whose license has been suspended. That goes directly to DOE. The additional legislation requires DOE to then notify the operator, whether it's the school bus district or the private operator, within 1 working day, and they have 1 working day to come back and verify that driver is out of the driver's seat. So that's what's been accelerated, is employer notification. Across the country, there's concern because there aren't effective employer notification systems. Again, this is an example where New Jersey is getting out ahead, but they're actually, because of this, there's discussion in D.C. led by the New Jersey delegation to address employer notification to accelerate that. That if there's a suspension or revocation of a license, that the operator of the school bus, meaning the school bus district, the Board of Ed, or the private operator is notified very quickly so that person is out of the school bus driver's seat. Right. Well, another piece of new legislation that was signed this past year requires school bus drivers over 70 to get a medical exam every year, and over 75 to get it every 6 months. So, or actually 75 or over to get every 6 months. The medical exam really identifies the most of the problems that might be age-related, like has vision degraded, are there other debilitating health conditions that have made it difficult for that driver to function. Anything else? Thank you all so much for coming. Really appreciate your attention. It's a very important matter. Thanks.